Hello everyone, Brady here from the Brady Brown channel. Welcome to another video. Welcome to another Brady opinion video. Our Brady's opinion video, I think, is how I titled this series. Haven't done one since a previous first-person shooter that I reviewed last time. That was Delta Force. This time, I am gonna go over a new game called Wardogs. So this past weekend, I got access to the closed alpha. We got permission, as you might have seen. Jack Frags posted it. Frankie on PC and 1080p posted a video on this game. Because we all got everyone that got footage this past alpha got permission today. To post their content. It was under wraps, under NDA previously, but luckily we've been given permission to do otherwise now. So before I get started on that, on my opinion on it, I just wanted to let everyone know that yes, this was the closed alpha. You had to get access to it. You could apply to it. There will be a closed beta. I learned via if you go to Steam, if you wishlist it on Steam, the closed beta, if you purchase into early access, which is $39.99 USD at this time, you will get access to the closed beta on August 21st. If I read correctly on Steam, it says the game's coming out on September 10th of this year. But what is Wardogs? Well, it's kind of like a mixture, as you might have heard of Arma, Squad, and a little bit of Battlefield, I guess, but it's leaning more on the Arma side in the Squad kind of team mechanics of that game. So what it is it's similar to KOF, King of the Hill, and Arma, where there's 3 different factions. It's a total of 100 players per server, and all 3 factions are fighting over one control zone. Now, within the control zone is a hot zone, which kind of gives you kind of more of an advantage, I guess, when it comes to numbers and trying to get the points towards your team. So, and the hot zone is always moving within that control zone area. And of course, the 3 factions, it's like a kind of a blue team, a red team, and a green team. So blue, red, and green. Forgot their names. I know at least one starts with an M. I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically, it's the first to 100 points. Each tick is calculated within maybe every 30 seconds or so is how you earn a point. But of course, you have to have the majority players within the circle. And of course, players that are with teams with more players in the hot zone get kind of more credit towards that point, or getting that point. So each faction has also the ability to make fobs, similar to Squad, if you've ever played Squad. When you make a fob, it gives you the ability to build structures. Those structures include barriers like sandbags and like kind of big blocks. I forgot what I'm blanking on what it's called, but kind of big blocks of concrete. But also gates, uh, places to store ammo and so on, and also even anti-air like Sea-Wiz devices, mortars, and anti-air turrets. So really, in this game, the ability to build is kind of like an interesting twist and a great addition to what Arma 3's KOF does not allow you to do. But it's also similar to Arma 3's King of the Hill is the fact that there's towers within the control zone. An interesting thing about each of these towers, by the way, this is kind of typically the central area where people are building or teams are building their fobs around and protecting and using that as like as a forward operating base to get into the circle and to get more people, funnel more people into the circle. Um, but I didn't really look into it per se as much as probably some people did. Um, there's some sort of drilling mechanic that each tower is has the ability to do once a code is inputted. I believe the drilling mechanic is what it is. Is it literally drills for supplies, maybe building supplies, and allows you to kind of keep those building supplies cycle to repair stuff within your forward operating base besides just buying building supplies at your base and transporting it to the fob. But don't quote me on that feature exactly because I didn't play around with that very much over the past weekend. What I thought was an interesting so I with Battlefield, if you're listening to this and never played Battlefield, which I'm sure if you're watching this video you might have seen Battlefield before or played it before, is they really try to push team gameplay in Battlefield, and which is why you have the revive mechanic and the call for support, call for medic mechanic, and so on. But what you see when playing Battlefield and what you experience is even with those mechanics, and even with Dice continuously trying to promote team gameplay, revive as a medic, it still does not get done. So interestingly, what this game includes is a bribe mechanic. So basically, again, a central feature around this game is money. You get money for killing. You get money for transporting troops to the fob. You get money for building stuff, building up your fob. You get money for destroying stuff and even transporting supplies into the fob. So you earn money with assist and so on. So the central idea is money. That's how you build your kit is with money. So you can bribe your teammates to pick you up. I believe it maxes out at $500. Say you're maybe in a little bit of a dangerous spot with no bribe feature, your teammates probably wouldn't even try. But hey, I'm gonna bribe you $500, and basically, if you get to me, you drag me out because you can drag bodies. If you drag me out, or if you revive me, you then earn on top of the revive money that you get, you earn $500. And similar to being transported into the um, zone, you can tip pilots or tip drivers. You can also tip people that revive you on top of the bribe. On top of the bribe, at an increment of $5 when you can spam it. I do not know what the max is for that. I never tipped. I don't think that much. But those are actually cool little features. But you can tip pilots, you can tip people that res you, and I think just and tip people that heal you as well. So it inherently that system, which is a cool idea from the devs, I mean, especially considering money's this central gameplay feature of this game, is having that bribe system, which will inherently produce better team-based gameplay results. So good call on the devs there. Like as I said, loadout is income driven. So there is base guns that cost $0, like a $0 base AR. Um, which doesn't cost you, but in order to add extra stuff, attachments, which you get by progressing in the game, or different round types, or more magazines than the base magazines, it does cost money. But you do kind of start out with a little bit of money when you first start playing the game. Something Battlefield does not have. Um, I believe Arma Reforger has it. I don't know if I remember correctly if Arma 3 had it. Maybe it did. Squad does not, I don't think. Oh no, maybe. I don't think Squad has cross team proxy chat. So, it does have a text chat that's all chat, team chat. and even squad chat. It has a squad chat VoIP and a local proxy chat VoIP, which, cool little neat features, just like Armor Reforger. It changes when you're in a helicopter, it changes kind of the quality of the voice. And as you get further, it changes the quality of the voice. So just kind of like a nice VoIP system. But also the proxy chat is a proximity chat, meaning it's not solely on your team local chat. It is proximity. So if enemies are talking nearby in proximity chat, you'll hear them and they'll hear you. Cool little feature. I think Armor Forger has it, which I liked. I wish Battlefield had it. In the newer Battlefield, they said, I think, something about adding that in the near future. I think it should have had it from the start, just because modern gaming allows it. Why not have it? But this game has it. Cool feature there. Um, when it comes to mechanics, shooting, healing, armor, and so on, it's pretty basic, but in a good way mechanics. Healing is not overcomplicated like Arma. You get shot in the arm, you just pull out your bandage and heal. It's similar to Squad's healing system, except, to my knowledge, I didn't experience it. There's no bleeding mechanic where you have to first, have that kind of gauze and patch up, then you actually can heal from a medic. It's just bandages heal HP. Okay, armor protects you on a percentage base. There's different tiered armor. Armor can break, and so it's just kind of like a basic healing system, which honestly I was kind of a fan of. I'm not a fan of overcomplicated heal systems. There's a genre for that. That's why people play Tarkov. But I'm glad Wardogs does not have that. So it's a cool little feature there. Um, there's a class, kind of like a class system. When you spawn in, when you go to the control zone, you're not necessarily a class per se. Um, but different gadgets, different guns level up, or different actions even level up certain classes. So those classes include assault, medic, recon, support, driver, and pilot. So basically, you inherently, when you play, when you use assault rifles, you level up the assault class. Okay, which then gives you different gear as you progress. Okay, when you use binoculars to spot people, you level up the recon class. When you build structures like at FOBs, or I think even deliver supplies to the forward operated base or to the control zone, you level up support class. If you drive the supplies, or if you drive people into the control zone, you level up your driver class. If you pilot supplies in, if you pilot people in, you level up your pilot class. And medic, of course, reviving people or bandaging people, you level up the medic. There is no dedicated class like you would think like Battlefield or Battlefront have. It's just doing those particular actions, and even some of the gadgets and stuff like bandages or the binoculars say XP goes towards that class. Okay. So that's as basic and honestly neat little leveling system Wardogs has. Um, Looking at it, I piloted quite a bit, or I mean not even quite a bit, just a little bit per se. Dropped supplies, piloted people into the zone. I didn't. I mean, I thought piloting was actually pretty good and pretty self-explanatory, pretty good. Some people that probably don't play Arma are not going to like it. People that are just going from Battlefield to this type of game might not like it because it might be a little too complicated for them. But if you played Arma 3, you piloted in Arma 3, you're going to be just fine. It's basically Arma 3's piloting mechanics, which I am fine with. I liked Arma 3's piloting mechanics. Helicopters do not feel as heavy as they do in Arma Reforger. I just feel like Arma Reforger, they feel ridiculously heavy. They feel more fluid, kind of similar to Arma 3's piloting. Some people were complaining about it. I was a fan of it. Or I just didn't have any negative opinions on it. With the fobs, you can destroy the enemy fobs, or you can hack the enemy fobs. It takes about 1 minute to hack, give or take. But when you are hacking, anyone can hack on the enemy team. Any faction can hack another faction's fob. It does produce a very, very loud air raid type of siren that obviously kind of tells that faction that you are hacking into their fob. So those are that. Along with the system of the fob, each faction, after one of the teams scored 20 points, spawns in an IFV, which is a portable spawn point. So this portable spawn point has about a 10-minute cooldown, and it takes about 10 seconds to deploy on the spawn point. It basically allows you to go from your base to wherever that IFE is placed by your team in 10 seconds instead of taking a driving to the control zone or riding in a helicopter to the control zone. So, a very similar feature to what King of the Hill in Arma 3 has. So, nothing different there. You want to protect that. It can be destroyed. Um, there's different types of ways to destroy vehicles. You got the mortars, you got RPGs, you got IEDs. So and you got other vehicles to destroy. You got tanks and so on. So you want to protect that. You want to build a fob around that, and kind of that really is where the fob system comes in play there. Um, Speaking of the to build on what I said about the classes, um, there is 6 ARs as of right now, as of the closed beta. 6 ARs, 2 shotguns, 3 marksman rifles, 4 SMGs, 2 LMGs, 5 sniper rifles, and 1 crossbow, 5 sidearms, and 4 different launchers. And on top of all that is different gadgets, specialist gadgets like binoculars, like I mentioned before, rangefinders, different types of hammers to build bigger structures, and of course, different types of like IEDs and stuff like that, special explosives, all of which are earned by leveling up. So when you level up that class, it gives you the ability to perma unlock. So for example, I leveled up my assault class and I unlocked the AK-47. I then have to perma unlock it for $10,000, and then every time I redeploy, if I want that assault the AK again, I have to pay. I think it was like 800 every life, basically. So you perma unlock, then you have to buy it every single life. As you level up, you earn different types of weapons, different gadgets, and then, like I said, you have to buy them each life. Okay, when you perma unlock, you don't just unlock it and you can use it forever. It's not Battlefield. Again, this is where the money system comes into play. You earn money by being in the control zone, reviving, playing as a team, getting kill assists, and so on. And that's how you're able to get bigger and better loadouts. So if your team, again, this really promotes team gameplay. If you're in the control zone, helping your team, supporting your team, getting kills, you earn money, you can get bigger and better loadouts and even vehicles. Um, as for vehicles, there's anti-aircraft, like tanks. There is normal battle tanks. There is normal vehicles like pickups, quads. There's helicopters like little birds. There's kind of like a Seahawk or a sea. I guess Seahawk is only or like a UH Bell helicopters type of helicopter. Both without miniguns, and later down the road you can unlock with minigun gunners on the side. There's a little bird with miniguns on it, and then there is an attack helicopter similar to the Chinese um, attack helicopter from Battlefield 4. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. I think it was like the Mi-28 Havoc. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on it, but it's that type of attack helicopter, similar to an Apache, if you think about it like that. So there's a lot of different types of vehicles, even just in the closed alpha. Um, it overall, I think the game is really good. Footstep sounds, did not have a problem with it. The footsteps are very audible compared to even some tactical shooters. Kov Rainbow Six Siege has somehow the terrible footstep, terrible audio. This game, I didn't actually quite have issues where I thought I heard someone to my left and they weren't left. I didn't have any issues. I didn't experience that in about the 10 hours that I played. And trust me, there's people that put 90 hours into this closed alpha. Um, I didn't have any issues along those lines. As for stability, it was a closed alpha. I was peaking at about 70 FPS on max graphics when I was going for quality in my settings. I have a 3080 Ti, i9 12900K DDR5 RAM. So that's for specs. I have pretty decent specs, pretty modern specs, and that's about the um, frames I was getting. No major server issues. Um, Gunplay is fluid, easy to understand. Again, like the healing mechanics, it's easy to understand. Um, Similar to like Rust, it has a battle log in the sense of when you do die, you can see what shots hit, if shots hit, how much damage they dealt to either the person, the armor. So really kind of cool system like that, which helps you understand if why you didn't get the kill or did get the kill or so on. So overall, I think it's a great game. I think it has a lot of potential. My only scared part, my only, I guess, not necessarily an issue, but just scared for the longevity of the game. And talking with other people, is the fact that it is only King of the Hill at this time. I mean, that is literally the central selling point, is that it's a King of the Hill game. Now, in the long run, what do you need to keep a fluid player base? Maps. You need, because I mean, you need to provide different environments, different maybe weather, of course, different content like vehicles and guns and so on, but just genuinely maps. Right now, in the closed alpha, obviously there was one, so I don't know how that's going to change. There was only one map and one layout. So like Arma's Koth can be on Altus, but have multiple different maps within that map, so to speak, different layouts. So in the alpha there was only one, but of course that could change in the beta and the full game. You just never know. That's something I'm not 100% sure on, but at this time that's what I know. Um, but of course, maps is going to be a big thing for keeping players. Content like guns, vehicles, and events, maybe. Hope not skins. Hope skins don't become a big issue. But again, with these type of games, they typically skins are added. Let's just hope they're not egregious like Call of Duty. But also game modes. I mean, I think at the base level, yes, the King of the Hill works with the way the money system works. But also, I think other type of game modes would work just as good. Like, I think you can easily make a 3-team King of the Hill, right? Or sorry, not King of the Hill. Capture the flag type of game mode. I think that would work. Um, a conquest type of game mode. I think that would work. Incorporating fobs and stuff like that. So game modes like that, not only having a King of the Hill, but different types of game modes. Yes, does it split the player base within that play the game? Yes, and does that take away from the core the core purpose of the game, which is King of the Hill. I mean, that's what it is a money type of King of the Hill. Yes, but looking at it on trying to keep players playing the game on a constant basis, you have to think about those types of things, which I'm sure the devs think about. Um, but that's really my only, not it's not even an issue, just hope that the devs and keep in mind those types of things to just keep players, because I mean I like the game. I'm sure I have friends with that would like the game, so of course we're gonna want to play. But the problem with a game like Reforger is not a lot of people play it. You have with Arma 3, you have and with King of the Hill on Arma 3, you have a core player base, which is like you can get a couple servers that are decently filled, but that's it. Okay? So with a game that's just King of the Hill, you have people that like that niche, but you really do have to think about expanding into other niches to keep a good core player base. And I think they will think about that and they will incorporate that with content and stuff like that. But that is something to think about in order to keep like just an overall player base. But I think there's a good decent amount of players that will like this game, and this is their niche and they'll play it no matter the content. As long as they keep guns balanced, and I think it'll be a good long surviving game. Um I'm sorry I took quite a bit of time to explain it. I just wanted to explain the overall basis of the game. Just I probably talked a lot more than a lot of people did. My overall opinion is that it's a good game. I definitely will be buying it come soon, whenever it comes out, when I get to that point. I enjoyed it. I'm sure my buddies might grab it, and when you can get a squad of people that can work together, build. I enjoy the building of it. I did a couple games where I just built fobs and just did the building. I enjoyed it. Even building was interesting. So I think this game has a lot of potential. I cannot wait to see where it goes. I think it needs to steer away from how Delta Force kind of went. Delta Force went big on skins and big on uh, a lot of stuff that kind of Call of Duty did and PUBG, modern day PUBG did, which just destroys core players. Yeah, you still have a bunch of people that go in there that are dedicated to the game, dedicated to buying skins, similar to Fortnite. Fortnite will always have a core player base, but if you want a game to live in the long run, you really have to continue developing realistic content, maps, weapons, vehicles. It's a military type of game, so you got to think of that. They got to think of the people that like the military genre. What do they like? Well, they like weapons, they like vehicles, they like maps, and they like freedom. Freedom maybe to build their own maps, maybe like a workshop thing. Steam has a great workshop system for developers or modders to build custom things. They need to take advantage of that. That really helps games. Is the ability to create mods helps it takes stress off the devs when people are designing content for you. I think, in my opinion, but it's up to the team. So similar publisher to it's the same publisher as Hell Let Loose that is publishing this game. So that's something to keep in mind. All right then. Sorry I talked so long. Overall, great game. Would recommend you pre-purchase the game. Take a look at gameplay for yourself. Not only the gameplay maybe you've been watching while I spoke, but also the gameplay of from other big, great YouTubers like Frankie on PC 10AP. Watch that guy since I was a kid, and Jack Frags, both great content creators. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know who they are. They also have some gameplay videos out on this game and plenty of others. To get your own opinion, the game is $39.99 for early access pre-order. if you do that, you do get access to the closed beta on August 21st. And I think the game is going to come out September 10th of next month. But yep, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit notifications so you know when the next live stream and or video is out. I'll talk to you guys next time. Take it easy.
I get past for the weekend.